This is our side bend somatic movement. So make sure you've gone through the body scan first, find the video for that, and then finding a position lying on the floor. So all of these somatic movements, it's best to do them lying on the floor. It's a nice firm surface. If we're lying on a bed or a couch or something like that, we don't quite have the same support, we don't quite have the same body alignment. So for this one, we want to be lying on the floor, but we want to make ourselves comfortable. So our knees need to be bent up at around 90 degrees to start with. We'll want them 90 degrees once we get going. And at minimum, we're going to use a low pillow here because we're going to lie on our shoulder and we want our head to relax on the pillow without this bottom shoulder rolling forwards, causing the top shoulder to roll back. So you might need two pillows, a bigger pillow. I'm going to use a block underneath my pillow, and that just keeps my head nice and high and gives me plenty of space for this bottom shoulder. And again, so sense that the shoulder is stacked over this shoulder. It's not rolled back with this one rolling forward, and it's not rolling forwards here. And then I'm bringing my knees up to 90 degrees and just relaxing my head onto the pillow. This arm can go wherever it feels comfortable. At this point, I tend to just rest it down here on the other one. We're really just bringing our awareness into our lower leg at this point. So as always with these somatic exercise movements, it's all about moving slowly and then taking time between each exercise to let the brain and the body connect and let the magic happen. So for this one, we want to keep our knees together and our thighs together, and we're just lifting our lower leg. So our foot just floats up, and we don't have to, I can take this high, but I don't need to. It only needs to come to here. And then as we exhale, or you might choose to inhale, it doesn't matter too much for the starting one, so long as you breathe, just slowly lowering it down as slow as possible without creating tension or discomfort. Once it's down, just letting it relax. Sense of relaxing right through the hip. If you find that your knees have moved down during the movement, that's fine. Just readjust them, bring them back up. So a sense that they come straight out from the pelvis. That doesn't look very, that looks straighter. Angles of the cameras. So again, keeping the knees together, the thighs together. The up part doesn't need to be slow, the contraction doesn't need to be slow, but the lowering just needs to happen as slowly as possible. You'll see that jarring movement. That's absolutely fine. In fact, that's what we're looking for in some ways. That shows where there might be a problem of over tightness. And then we just let the whole leg and hip relax. We can do that a maximum of 3 times. But for now, we're going to shift to the next part. So for this next part, we're bringing our arm up over our brow. If when you do that, your shoulder rolls back, so also sometimes it's a good idea to do it against a wall. I'm just a bit out from the wall. I've got awareness. I know how my body works through this movement. But if you do roll back, or if you aren't sure whether it's rolling back or not, doing it against a wall is a good idea, and you'll get closer to the wall. So for me today, a little bit tight in my shoulder today, I'm not going to bring my arm right up to my brow. I'm just going to let it lie in front of my face here. You might even have it down here. And we're bringing the arm up and over. It doesn't need to move slowly. So this again, through this whole movement, we need to make sure that the shoulder doesn't do this. So sometimes if you've got a compensation where your shoulder does roll back, you'll actually bring your arm more forwards to rest onto the thigh. I've been doing this for a few years now. I know that my shoulder's nice and stable to come up and over, to relax to here. And then as I inhale, I'm going to reverse the movement. So same thing, looking for that shoulder rolling back If it rolls back, just bringing the arm a little further forwards, just coming nice and slowly. When we get down to here again, softening, relaxing, letting the whole shoulder just soften. Not unusual to take some bigger breaths, find some big yawns. You might even find in this time that you lay down and just lay still that there'll be some more shifts in movements, muscles, as they register the opportunity to relax and let go. And then again, this movement doesn't need to be slow, but we need to not let our shoulder roll back. And then as we breathe in, again, it doesn't matter too much, so long as you're breathing nice and slowly, not letting the shoulder drop back. And you'll find for me, that spot there, my body really wants to speed up. So I just have to work extra hard to slow it down. And there it just wants to drop, but I'm just going to slowly bring it down, relax the whole arm. Take a good few breaths. Again, maximum of 3. More is not always better. From here, we're going to make it one big movement, and we're going to bring the head in for this. So first of all, we'll just feel into what just lifting the head feels like. So bringing this arm back here, just lifting the head towards your ear, but again, it doesn't have to go as far as possible. Just here is fine, and just slowly lowering it back down to the pillow. And then relaxing, taking a few breaths. Really only need to do that one once or twice. And we can shift into the whole movement. So lots to think about here. Knees together. What I encourage people to do is to start the arm movement first. So up with the arm, and that takes the concentration of not rolling the shoulder back. Then lifting the leg, and then the head, and having a sense that this lower rib cage comes a little bit towards the hip. So don't strain the neck by lifting the head as high as possible. Keep it a little bit low. And then again, starting with the arm movement, slowly checking in with that shoulder, slowly lowering the leg, slowly lowering the head, back to the arm. It's a lot to think about, and it can take a little bit of time and practice. I get here and my head softens down, my leg softens down, but I just have to concentrate that little bit longer to let the arm come down and soften, and just let my whole body relax into that, absorb that. So again, you can do that 3 times. You can also, especially if you're short on time, you might choose to just do the whole thing 3 times each side. Obviously from here you'll switch over and do the other side. It's up to you how you switch over, whether you sit up, roll around, whether you just roll to the other side, that's up to you. Again, just leaving enough time to let your body relax and adjust before you roll to the other side. Yeah, it takes a while, so you might choose to just do the whole body 3 times. That's far preferable than rushing through everything. It is really good to break it down into those individual parts if you have the time to, but it's about what works for you and your schedule.